Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 20 plus years of experience. So nearly 10 plus years of experience in data engineering side. Right. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Fine, thank you. Yes. Azure Data Engineer ADE, right? Yes. Cloud. Talking about this cloud, right? Yes. So on premises, and what is the advantage of cloud? Advantage of cloud, right? Over on premises, right? Generally, what we do, generally in on premises, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure, right? Our own hardware infrastructure. Secondly, on top of that, OS installation. Going for the, okay, next, purchasing database license. Next, installing database server. Next, finally, designing database objects. So advantage of cloud over on-premises, right? Yes, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing of data license, database license, right? Installation of database server and designing database. So generally to maintain all this, we require separate teams. We require separate teams like hardware team. Yes, hardware team is required. Operating system. Next, networking team, security team, finally database administrators. Database administrators, right? Yes. All this, to maintain all this, we require this hardware team, operating system team, networking, security team, and database administrator teams. But in cloud, but here, everything on cloud premises, right? No need to maintain all this. No need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure. Yes. No need of any licenses. So here everything in the cloud environment. Okay. So advantage of cloud over on-premises, right? Instead of all this maintaining all these things, right? Everything in the cloud premises, right? Yes. Generally, if I talk about cloud, majorly utilized, cloud is majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various forms. It is used majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various forms. So here I'll be talking about a data engineer, right? Data engineer with the help of cloud services, will work on the data, make it structured and useful. So generally, this data engineers responsible for data for smooth data flow, for smooth data flow from the source to destination. From source to destination, right? Data engineer is responsible for smooth data flow. Yes, from the source to destination. Generally, data engineer, what is this response like? Preparing a data, cleansing data, transforming data, and processing the data. Data engineers, right? Data engineer for preparing data, cleansing, transforming, and processing data. See, more than 80% of the data analysis is done by data engineers. More than 80% of the data analysis work is done by data engineers. Generally, people ask data engineer, data scientist, and data analyst. So data scientist, strategizes for the future. Strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. Data scientist strategizes for the future, and the data analyst summarizes for the past. Data scientist, not only that, he is going to analyze the data, right? Identify the patterns, and finally perform recommendations. Recommendations or predictions for the future. That is the main thing, right? What data scientist strategizes for the future, analyzes the data, identify the patterns, recommendations for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. He also just going to analyze the data. Yes. Summarize the data of fast. And as finally, visualizing the data. Yes. Data engineer does all the groundwork. Data engineer does all the groundwork for data scientist and analyst. We talk about this data engineer, right? Yes. So generally, you need to search or you need to find what are the sources, what are the sources of the data? Yes, what are the sources of the data? And secondly, what is the format of the data, right? How to transform the data? How to transform the data? And finally, source, and also it requires destination, right? What is the destination of the data? That is the target. Yes. Data scientist providing future references. Data analyst summarizes the past events. Data engineer does all the groundwork for this, both data scientist and writer. Why data engineer? Now I'll talk about Azure data engineer. Why we have got, why Azure data engineer in demand today? Why Azure data engineer in demand today, right? For example, you have got an organization. An organization, right, wants to increase its business revenue by utilizing the customer behavioral data and its website. Okay. Why Azure data engineer? Why it is in demand means organization wants to increase the business revenue by utilizing customer behavioral data in its website. So the organization using Azure for its operation. The organization is using Azure for its operation. So it hires an organization to increase its business revenue based on this behavioral data on its website. So it is going to hire 2%. Mainly it is going to hire 2%. Azure data engineer, right? Azure data engineer is one. Secondly, a data scientist. Azure data engineer and data scientist. First, this Azure data engineer. He creates a warehouse. He creates a data warehouse for that organization. A data warehouse means it's the storage of structured and queryable data, right? Where you are performing querying, right? It contains data from various sources such as user logs, the user clicks, existing customer data. Data engineer is going to structure the data. Data engineer is going to structure the data, right? Stores it and monitors in the data warehouse. Data engineer then later he is going to communicate with the data scientist, is going to communicate with the data scientist to understand the data requirement in which pattern you want. He also communicates with the business team He also communicates with the business team to know the business requirements of the organization. Right? He has to keep in mind the business needs when dealing with the data in hand. That later, the data scientist is going to analyze and creates insights from that processed data. And the business team requires a dashboard tool for visualizing of the key insights. It helps the team to read the data easily. So the Azure data engineer constantly keeps on processing, analyzes, and monitors the data. He is going to create data pipelines through which the data is integrated with the different stages of. He also makes sure that pipeline is always efficient and is secure. The data pipelines, right, is secure. So this is the primary role of this Azure data engineer. Later, I'll discuss more on this. Right. So generally, a lot of what are the main roles of the Azure data engineer? I'll be discussing that. Many points are there for that. Right. Okay, to discuss that also, right? Okay. Why Azure data engineer in demand? Also, role of Azure data engineer, right? What are the roles of Azure data engineer? Hmm. Architecture design, data flow, architecture design. Role of Azure data engineer means data flow architecture design. Data engineers designs the entire data flow architecture. Secondly, data warehouse creation. Role of Azure data engineer, data flow architecture design. Data warehouse creation means data engineers creates this data warehouse for storing some analytical data. So it will be very easy to query the data for data analysis. And the major role of Azure data engineer, ETL, ETL, extract, transform, load. People from ETL background knows about it, right? This ETL is one of the key tasks of data engineers. They need to extract the data from multiple sources, data sources, right? Transform it into structured format that is in queryable form, that is, it can be queried, and load this data into company's storage services for further business evaluations by the data scientists. ETL. These three main tasks. Apart from that, many other are there, many other roles, right? Data monitoring, we say. Data monitoring. So data engineers also, they should make sure that ETL is performed in a proper way and data is available everywhere, anywhere it is required. Not only this data monitoring, securing the data, right? Securing the data security. Ensuring the data security is a major responsibility of data engineers. The data need to be secure at each step of the process without any data leak or data exposure, right? Collaboration, collaboration and communication. Collaboration and communication. Just now I said, right? They should constantly communicate with the business team to check the team needs what is that in what format you want the data, right? Team needs the data insights and also collaborating or communicating with the data scientists need to deliver the data as per their needs or requirements. So if data scientist or data analyst requires the data delivered to them on a particular platform, data engineer has to maintain such a platform, right? And analytics. Data engineers, they are going to analyze the data, transform it into structure and useful format. They need to have this strong analytical knowledge, right? To perform various analysis and also some kind of automation. Sorry. Automation. They have to automate certain processes which require minimal human intervention, right? They have to automate certain processes which require some minimal human intervention, such as extractions, right? Yes. So just I'll give some overview about this Azure data engineering products or services, right? Later I discuss in brief Azure data engineering, right? Products or services. Azure SQL. Azure SQL. Azure Data Lake. Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Data Factory. Azure Databricks. Azure Cosmos DB. Azure Streaming. Azure Key Vault. So Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, and Azure Key Vault. Azure SQL. So just I'll give overview about these things, these services, products. Cloud RDBMS. Azure SQL is a cloud RDBMS database. Of Microsoft. In Azure. It is for OLTP operation. It is for OLTP, online transactional processing. It is for purely for online transactional processing. OLTP system captures, right? OLTP system, it captures end user transactions. Azure SQL, it's a kind of OLTP. It is not for data warehouse. It is not for data warehouse. So what is Azure SQL? It is a cloud or DBMS database. It is used for OLTP. It is not for data warehouse. Azure Data Lake. It is some distributed file system. Some distributed file system. Unlimited data storage with unlimited data storage. in cloud. Some distributed file system with unlimited data storage in cloud. Generally, if you've got knowledge on this Hadoop, right, we say like Hadoop distributed file system, that is on-premises DFS. On-premises, right? On-premises, we use that distributed file system. So if I talk like Azure Data Lake, cloud distributed file, cloud DFS, on-premises DFS, HDFS, cloud DFS, Azure Data Lake. I can say Azure Data Lake, it is a repository for large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. All varieties of data. So it is for unlimited data storage in the cloud. Later I discuss in brief about it. So it's a distributed file system with unlimited data storage in the cloud. It's a kind of cloud distributed file system, I can say. Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, ADF. Simply saying that Azure Data Factory, right? It is cloud ETL. Simply, you can say it's a cloud ETL. It's a cloud ETL. Of Microsoft in Azure Cloud Platform. Between the OLTP systems and between the data warehouse, it is acting as an integration service. Between the OLTP systems and the data warehouse, Azure Data Factory, right? It is going to extract the data from OLTP and going to just dump the data into data warehouse, right? So this ADF, extracting, transforming, loading, this ETL kind of activity done by this ADF. I can say it is a data integration service. Integrates the OLTP systems and the data warehouse. Here. Just raw data here, raw data comes from one side. Processed data comes from another side. That been transformed as per the destination. Transformed as per the, okay. ADF permits us to combine data from multiple sources, reformat it into analytical models, save these models for querying, visualizing, and reporting. ADF creates workflows. ADF creates workflows for data transformations. So from where we'll be getting data from sensors, IoT, logs. Just observe this diagram, right? From sensors, from IoT, media, it can be any kind of media. Applications, from different types of applications, right? From all this, right? using this ADF, it's going to store in Azure Data Lake. In Azure Data Lake. Later, preparation and this ADV, Azure Databricks, going to process this, and later we perform any kind of querying, performing some kind of querying, visualizing, reporting, right? Azure Databricks. Simply, I can say it is a Databricks, right? It is a easy, fast Apache Spark data analytics platform. It is a easy, fast Apache Spark-based data analytics platform for Microsoft Azure, right? For Microsoft Azure Cloud Services platform. So it is going to bring data engineering, data science, and business together. Process the data analytics, right? So it's a kind of Apache Spark-based data analytics platform. Lot of discussion on this Databricks, right? Details of okay. You asked, right? Apache Spark based. What is Apache Spark based? Very high speed processing technology, right? Spark is a very high speed processing technology. In Spark, compared to other technologies, disk based, here in memory computation, we say in Spark, in memory computation, data gets loaded into RAM, data gets processed in RAM, memory level, in memory computation. That's why very high speed as compared with other technologies. It is 100 times faster than the other disk processing technologies, right? So it has got a distributed execution, parallel processing, in-memory computation for large scale, huge data processing, right? So these are the capabilities of Spark, which has got high boom in today's market, right? We say Spark, we are implementing today using Python, we say like PySpark, Spark with Python implementation, right? Means I say both combinedly, Python and Spark combinedly, right? So Apache Software Foundation is combining Python and Spark together. We have got a Python API like PySpark, Spark with Python implementation, right? So it is for processing. It's one of the processing engine, right? The lightning fast technology for fast processing, right? It has got a great demand for data engineers. It's one of the important tool for data engineer, right? For fast computation, right? Yes. So later I discuss in brief, lot of discussion on this totally like that. Like I'll be discussing like ADB with PySpark, right? Spark with in clear, I'll discuss what are the Spark data objects, how they are going to be divided into partitions, how they are going to get distributed, how they are going to get processed. Many actions, transformations are available for that. So everything in the Azure Databricks. What are normal Databricks and Azure Databricks, right? Azure Synapse. Yes. Start for practice and practice. Yes, Prakash, right? No, don't not a worry, right? For practicals, everything. Don't worry about the practical part. Yes. Okay, just let me complete this. I'll 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll be giving time for your queries. And also I'll show you that course content, what I'm going to discuss. Azure Synapse. Cloud, I can say like cloud or DBMS for data warehouse purpose. It is for data warehouse purpose, for analytics, for batch processing, not for online, for batch processing, non-interactive applications. Everything runs in the background. These applications run in the background, mostly like financial and banking applications. And also we see parallel processing here. Parallel processing. Azure streaming. Azure streaming, right? For real-time analytics, for data streams processing, for analyzing and processing high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources simultaneously, right? Azure streaming, right? Yes. Streaming or processing the streaming data coming from multiple sources. So the rate of speed where the data is generated, the same rate of speed data is going to get processed, right? Yes. And Azure Cosmos DB. I'll just discuss all this in brief. Azure Cosmos DB. Yes. Cosmos DB is a kind of cloud-based. It is Azure cloud-based. NoSQL database. Azure cloud-based NoSQL database, right? It is a multi-node NoSQL database, fully managed by NoSQL and relational database for modern application development, right? Yes. Capturing and processing. See, I'm just writing capturing and processing high volumes of data, high volumes of streaming data from multiple sources, right? Yes. And Azure Key Vault. Secure key management, right? Secure key management to protect data in the cloud. To encrypt the keys and small secrets like passwords, and they use these keys stored, right? Yes. Okay. So these are the products, right? Azure Key Vault, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, Azure Synapse, Azure Data. These three things will be as part of this Azure Data Engineering, Azure Data Factory, Database, and Azure Synapse. This is what we're going to discuss, right? And people who want ADF in brief, right? Yes, 1 second. Job market of Azure Data Engineer, right? Yes. So if you see, according to this Microsoft, every year, nearly like 3 lakhs new companies are registering themselves on Azure, right? So 95% of these Fortune 500 companies are utilizing Azure cloud services. So in turn, it is going to increase the number of job opportunities for Azure data engineers, right? Constantly. So major companies are beginning to trust and adopt this Azure. They are shifting to Azure and regularly need of professionals who can work on Azure and handle this huge data, right? According to the pay scales, also huge packages for these data engineers compared with other technologies. Data engineers have the highest average salary. And both Azure data engineers and data scientists both have got the highest salary pays when they have need to have that command in the technical skills, right? According to the survey of this global knowledge, the top two highest paying jobs, right? Data engineer and data scientist. So always having having or pursuing a data engineer career will always, right, never let you down, right? Yes. So these are the emerging or top rank. See, data engineers jobs are the emerging jobs around the world. Even in USA, got a high demand for this data engineers. Companies like Facebook, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon, all are interested in this data engineers with even if you see the great salary packages for this, when the tech giants, including Google, Apple, Cognizant, Walmart, all these are offering high paying jobs for this data engineers, right? Yes. Yeah. You can just see this course content, right? Yes. Just go through this course content, right? Azure Data Factory, right? Starting with people who wants only Azure Data Factory. Yes, first I'll be starting with the Azure Data Factory, or who wants the total Azure data engineering entire thing, data factory, right? Azure Data Factory, we need to have clearly understand these pipelines, activities, linked to services, data sets, triggers, linked to service. What is data sets? What are the activities copied? A lot of everything practical triggers, integration, runtime, IR, source control, global parameters, monitoring ADF jobs, alerts, data flow debugging, transformations, ADF exercises, right? Creating all these are the different what we are going to do, ADF exercises, right? Copy activity, different types of activities. And coming to this Azure Databricks, right? So some knowledge before we go with Azure Databricks. So introduction to this, so big data and Spark, and some introduction to this cloud platform, introduction to some of Azure. Coming to this Azure Databricks, the main architecture, main concepts, Databricks using Azure's resource manager, right? Creating cluster from the user interface, Databricks cluster management, types of cluster, Databricks pools, cluster mode, auto scaling option, Databricks utilities, Databricks integrations with the different uh, blob storage, Azure Data Lake, Azure SQL database, Synapse, Snowflake, Databricks handling different file formats, different how to handle work with different file formats in this, right? So everything goes in Spark environment, right? Batch processing, incremental loading, different types of transformations, aggregations, window functions, union operations, working with historical data, right? So 1 second, you can see in the chart, right? 1 second, can you observe? You can see in the chart that the course content is forwarded, right? Azure data engineering. Yeah. 1 second. Databricks batch processing. Okay, aggregations, window functions, Databricks streaming API, right? Okay, you will be getting this course content to your mail also, right? Databricks Lakehouse, Delta Lake, features of this Delta Lake, how to create this Delta Lake, right? Handling STD type 1, type 2, streaming Delta, workflows in Databricks, creating, running, and managing Databricks jobs, doing Databricks jobs. And this coming to this Azure Synapse, right? Introduction overview, the pool, Synapse pool, right? Integration with Azure Synapse triggers, database integration with Azure Synapse, incremental load, loading node, logging and notifications of Key Vault integration, deep dive into copy activity in Azure Synapse, data flow, right? Yes, this is regarding Azure Synapse. So this is what going to be discussed as part of this Azure data engineering. So people who wants like ADF, you can go with only ADF. You want all this ADF, ADB, ADF, ADB with PySpark, ADB with PySpark, and Azure Synapse Analytics, right? This. So one second. I discussed about the job market, right? So friends, right? What I'm going to, you'll be getting the session videos, right? Every session videos. So for ADF, it is 1.5 months. For total Azure data engineering, it takes 3 months, right? Once again, I repeat, 2.5 to 3 months for total Azure data engineering. For ADF, it is 1.5 months. Yeah, Karthik Reddy, at the last, I'll be providing you one flow, right? Session video, every session video you'll be getting, it's you can play the video, it's not downloadable. Soft copy of the class notes, clear notes of this. A WhatsApp group will be created, right? For kind of technical discussions or any errors, right? And at the last, interview questions. Session video, soft copy of the notes, WhatsApp group. Okay, fine. So one more timings. Let me make it clear about the timings, right? Timings. First, I'm making it clear before you go up with that payment, other things, right? First 1 week at 5 p.m. in the evening. Later 1 week to just 1 week to 10 days, right? It will be at 5 p.m. 1 week to 10 days, it will be at 5 p.m. in the evening. Later it starts at 6 p.m. Up to the end of the course, right? Later it is going to be at 6 p.m. But first 1 week to 10 days at 5 p.m. Later it is going to be at 6 p.m. Right? Yes. Yeah, course content will be forwarded, right? Yes. Course content you will be getting, right? Yes. Hmm. Yeah, some other query was asked, right? Is it possible to move from, okay, you can go with the data engineering and data scientist. Is it, so transitions do occur, right? Frequently. Professionals frequently switch between the employment, between data engineering and data science. So primary role of data engineer, right? Okay, compared with the data scientist. They mainly focus on designing, constructing, and maintaining data pipelines to ensure reliable data flow from the source to destination. But on the other hand, data scientists, they are going to extract insights and they are going to perform some kind of predictive models to solve the problems, right? Yes. Class duration will be 1 hour daily, right? Anil Kumar, it's a weekday. What's the total duration per day, right? It will be 1 hour per day. Samit wrote, Samit, right? Yes, what is the class duration? Okay, fine. So more on this. Tomorrow also people can attend the session, right? Tomorrow also at 5 p.m. Follow the same link, same timing tomorrow also to see more on this. We'll be discussing more, right? So the someone was asking the prerequisites, right? Nothing. Some if you want to go for Azure Databricks with PySpark, some basic Python is required. Basic SQL knowledge is required. Basic SQL, some basic Python, right? Fine. Okay. Yes. Yes. Sheikh Akram. Yes, I'll be providing, right? So once again, we'll check that if we can see the course content. As someone was asking query, right? Yes, after full alarm, right? 12 years of experience in it will be after the yes, compulsory, right? It has got a great demand today. So the thing is, that's why I will be spending more examples, more tasks to work with. So you'll be getting command on this, and that is also it's a one of the demand tool in the market, right? Yes. Fine. Fine. So if I'm done with your queries, then I will sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time, using the same link. More discussion on this, right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.